this video, we are going to study about the perpendicular bisectors in the triangles. Now, whenever we talk about the perpendicular bisector, what is meant by perpendicular bisector? So, let's suppose if we are talking about the perpendicular bisectors in angles. So, if there is an angle and there is a line that cuts the angle into two equal parts, then it is said to be the perpendicular bisector of the angle. When comes to the triangle, so you know that this is the shape of a triangle. Now if we try to construct a line, means construct a perpendicular line that can split the line segment AB of the triangle into two equal parts, making an angle of 90 degree, then it is said to be the perpendicular bisector in the triangle. Now another thing, here it is C. So if we are making a perpendicular bisector over here, okay, that cuts the CD into two equal parts, okay, similarly a perpendicular bisector that cuts the AC into two equal parts. So you can see there is one more thing, that all the lines they are intersecting at one point. Now this point is said to be the circumcenter. This is said to be the circumcenter of the triangle. So we will say, how can we explain the perpendicular bisector of the triangle? And they always intersect at a single point. Similarly, we will use the circumcenter of a triangle's theorem in order to solve the problems in the coordinate plane. We will also apply the circumcenter theorem in order to find the lengths of the segment that connect the circumcenter to a vertex of a triangle. Now we already understood that what is the perpendicular bisector. Perpendicular bisector of the three sides of the triangle, they always intersect at one point, and that point is said to be the circumcenter, and it is always be equidistant from the vertices of the triangle. There are 3 points of concurrency and 4 points of the concurrency. The 4 points of the concurrency are known as incenter, orthocenter, centroid, and circumcenter. So today in this lesson we will focus on the circumcenter of the triangle. Now, in the circumcenter theorem, by the circumcenter theorem, it is obvious that the perpendicular bisectors of the sides, the perpendicular bisector. So this is the perpendicular bisector, this blue line is the perpendicular bisector, and this is the perpendicular bisector. They are equidistant from the vertices in such a way that PA is equals to PC and is equals to PB. According to the circumcenter theorem, if you are dealing with the acute triangle, which means that all the angles of the triangle are less than 90 degree, so in that case, the perpendicular bisectors will intersect in the middle of the triangle, and you will find the circumcenter inside the acute angle. But while dealing with the right triangle, the circumcenter will be produced on the triangle. Whereas in the obtuse triangle, the circumcenter will be outside the triangle. Now the question arises, how can we find out the circumcenters of the triangles? Which means that how can we determine the point of the intersection where all the perpendicular bisectors are meeting together. So first of all, before solving any kind of such equations, let's remind ourselves that is what is the slope of the perpendicular line, or how can we find out the slope of a perpendicular line. So let's suppose I have a slope of a line that is 4. So under the 4 there is no number, it means it is 1. So this is my example that the slope of a line is 4. So how does the slope of the perpendicular line looks like? So the slope of the perpendicular line will be the reciprocal of this slope. Reciprocal means flip this slope. So 4 over 1 will becomes 1 over 4. And if the sign is plus, so for the perpendicular line, the sign will be opposite. So if this is plus, you will get a negative answer. So this is how we write the slope, or we find the slope of a perpendicular line if the slope of the line is known. So take another example. If the slope of the line is 4 by 5, then what will be the slope of the perpendicular line? It will be the reciprocal, that is 5 over 4, and change the sign, so it will be negative 5 over 4. So this is the most important thing which we should remember before solving or before finding the circumcenter. Okay, so let's try to solve the equations. So first thing is that in order you have to follow some of the steps. So in order to find or where the circumcenter lies, first of all you have to find out the slope of the line. So if the slope of the line is given, then from the slope of the line you will find the slope of the perpendicular line. But also we know that the perpendicular bisector is a bisector that cuts the line in between, okay, so that the two parts are equal to each other. So which means that we have to find out the midpoint of the line also. So we need to find out the midpoint and we need to find out the slope of the line. So let's try to find it out. So in order to find the perpendicular bisector of this line AB, we need to find the midpoint of the AB. How can we find the midpoint of the AB? By applying the formula, midpoint formula, x1 plus x2 divided by 2, comma y1 plus y2 divided by 2. Now let's see what is x1, what is y1, what is x2, what is y2. So the A points, these points, they are the x1 and y1, these coordinates. And you know, they all are arising from the origin, that is 0, 0. So what are the coordinates of the B point? X and y. Okay, so x. So go down and check what is the x. The x is 8. And what is the y point? Y point is 12. So it is 8 and 12. Name it as x1, y1. So B will be x2 and y2. Okay, substitute the values in the formula. x1 is 0. And what is x2? x2 is 8 divided by 2. y1 is again 0 and y2 is 12 divided by 2. Okay, 0 plus 8 divided by 2 in the calculator you will get 4. 0 plus 12 divided by 2 you will get 6. So what is 4 and 6? They are the midpoints of AB. Okay, stop it over here and now do the second step. It means find the slope of AB. Okay, so what is the formula of the slope? It is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. And we already know about the y2. y2 is already 12. We know this. y1 is 0. x2 is 8 and x1 is 0. Write all in the calculator and you will get 3 over 2 as the slope of the actual line. Now how to find the slope of the perpendicular line? I told you just now that first of all we flip it. or take the reciprocal. So 3 by 2 becomes 2 by 3 and change the sign. So it is positive, so you make it as negative. So the slope of the perpendicular line is negative 2 by 3 and the midpoints are 4 and 6. What you will do now? Now you will write down the equation of the perpendicular line. Now in order to write the equation of the perpendicular line, you will choose the x1 and y1 as the midpoints. So we know the equation of the line, that is y minus y1 equals to m x minus x1. Now as I told you that you will choose the midpoints as x1 and y1. So what was the x1 and y1? It was, we just find it out, it was our 4 and 6. Okay, and what was the slope? The slope was negative 2 over 3. So here we will use the formula. So y stay as it is. In place of y1 we will write this 6 midpoint equals to m. M is negative 2 by 3. X keep it as it is. And what is x1? X1 is 4. Open the bracket. So write the y minus 6 as it is. Multiply negative 2 by 3 times x gives you negative 2 by 3x. Multiply negative 2 by 3 times negative 4. It gives us positive 8 by 3. Now bring this negative 6 on the other side. So you will get positive 6. Write this all in the calculator, means plus 8 by 3 plus 6. You will get plus 26 over 3. Drag down negative 2 by 3x and drag down the y. So this is the equation of our perpendicular line or the perpendicular bisector of AB. Now we have to find out another lines. Okay, so you can either take 0C, yani AC, or you can take the BC. So it's up to you. I like the 0 A and C because it is a straight line and finding the slope of a straight line is very easy. So have a look over here. A and C. What are the coordinates of A? The coordinates of A is 0, 0. And what are the coordinates of C? So x value first, that is 18, and y value is 0. So take it as x1 and y1 and the C points as x2 and y2. So what is the midpoint formula? We just know x1 plus x2 divided by 2 and y1 plus y2 divided by 2. What is x1? X1 is 0, x2 is 18 divided by 2, y1 is 0, y2 is 0, divide by the 2. So 18 divided by 2 is 9 and 0 divided by 2 is 0. How to find the slope of AC? We know the formula y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So y2 is what? 0 minus 0 divided by 9 minus 0. So 0 over 9 gives us 0. Now I know that if the slope of a line is 0, then the slope of the tangent line or perpendicular line or slope of the perpendicular line will be undefined. Why undefined? Because look at the logics. 0 divided by 1. If you flip it, it will give you what? 1 over 0. And 1 over 0 will give you the math error, right? So it would be undefined. So for the slope, if the slope is undefined, the formula of the tangent line is x equals to this point, x equals to 9. So we have the x value of the circumcenter. Now we have to find out the y values also. So for the y values, we know how to find out the point of intersection. So our first equation was y equals to negative 2 by 3x plus 26 over 3. And the second equation is x equals to 9. Put this 9 in place of x. So y equals to negative 2 by 3 is 9 plus 26 by 3. So write it in the calculator. So you will get 8 over 3. So what is the point of intersection? It's 9 and 8 over 3. And in order to confirm it, you can find out the same way, solve the perpendicular bisector of BC, find the point of intersection, you will get the same answer.